shall continue. I like that little feature because it confirms for me that I remember to press record. So hello, you'll record this, you'll have it going forward. And let's start by planting our feet on the earth. It's not really the earth, it's our floor. We can pretend it's the earth. And letting the chair take our weight, feeling those parts of our body that are connected to the surface, to the floor, to the chair. Of course, that in our case, being seated, that's the soles of our feet primarily, the backs of our legs, our hips, depending upon your chair, perhaps your lower back. And noticing your hands, if you'd like the palms up to receive, or if they feel more comfortable, feeling more grounded with your palms down, or maybe one of each. Just noticing your position, noticing the connection of your body to the floor, to the chair, to your mat. And if you take this outside, to the earth. So let's imagine in our minds, let's take this outside. Beautiful sunny afternoon. We're outside on a beautiful patch of grass near our favorite tree, and we have our feet on the grass. And believe me when I say, when we do this, you can actually, when you get very quiet and still, we can actually feel the sizzling on the soles of the feet. We can feel the energy coming through the soles of the feet. So as we come into our breath, imagining the tickling of the grass and the soles of our feet, our ankles, the warmth of the earth, and the bit of tingling of the earth's energy coming up through all those hundreds and hundreds of nerve endings in the soles of our feet. Our feet are highly innervated. They give our brain fabulous and very important information. It's wonderful to let them be bare and powerful, exposed. Let them feel whatever surface they are in contact with. Honoring our feet and our feet health. Coming to the breath, breathing into that sensation of being grounded, being centered, being safe. Maybe as we're feeling that sensation in our feet, connecting to the color red, the color of our root chakra in our pelvic region, our pelvic floor, right down onto the chair, breathing into that beautiful, rich color red, feeling stabilized, connected, grounded, safe. Getting nice and tall on the inhale and sinking down on the exhale. Noticing our spine getting longer as we add that lovely bit of traction with the breath by reaching up to our crown space and down into our root chakra space. Envisioning the vertebrae between the discs, our spinal discs, those little jelly discs in between, just noticing them getting lots of oxygen, sending love to them. As we get taller, taking a little bit of pressure off those discs, those gelatinous discs. Breathing love and energy and warmth. And breathing that same love into any dark corners that we might find as we investigate our breath. Letting the breath just kind of take us around on a bit of an investigative journey, investigative journalism, just seeing what's happening in our body, in our heart space, in our minds, our emotions tonight. And if there are any dark corners, just sending extra love, beaming that corner with love, with compassion, with understanding, patience, gratitude. We all have our dark corners. Sometimes they linger for a while, maybe they shift around. It just shines a light on how beautifully imperfect we are. Gives us permission to be imperfect. Honoring that, being grateful for our imperfections so that we can really embrace others and be compassionate towards others as we're being compassionate towards ourselves. And as we're taking this exploratory journey through our body and our psyche, our emotions, our mind. Just taking a peek to see if there's an intention you'd like to set for tonight. Is anything coming up for you? You're tucking it into the dark spaces, to the bright spaces, the pockets of your soul, your heart space. As we take a couple more beautiful grounding breaths. Now, we'll breathe in the color green. Let's open up our arms. Breathe and lift our hearts. The color of our heart chakra is green. We'll exhale to round the spine. Give ourselves a hug. Beautiful little back bends. Now let's press our thumbs into our index finger, adding that little bit of our mudra as we open on the breath, breathing in, lifting our hearts. Breathing in the color green, exhaling to wrap around in a big hug of self-love. I've just scooched a little bit further on the chair so I can get some nice mobility in my spine. Breathing in if you need to do that, just adjust whatever little adjustments you need to make. Exhaling, other arm coming on top. Beginning to invite the belly button to come towards the spine as we do these little back bends. Inhaling to open. Exhaling a big hug, noticing that belly button to the spine, bringing our core muscles a little bit into the game now, saying good evening to them. Hello, thanks for joining our Zoom call. And a few more of these as we wrap ourselves in that beautiful hug. Drawing pubic bone to sternum, belly button to spine. So adding that bit of extra energy, bringing our core muscles into the game. Let's do two more. And exhaling. And one final one, lifting our beautiful hearts. Exhaling to close. So nice. Let's open. Let's lay our hands gently on our thighs, on our quadricep muscles. We'll press down with our hands. We'll roll back our shoulders and lifting our heart on the inhale. Exhaling once again to round the spine. Maybe a little stronger this time, drawing that belly button to the spine as we add that resistance of our palms against our quadricep muscles. Breathing in. Exhaling down. And inhaling up. Pressing down with feet, pressing down with hands. Exhaling, belly button to spine, feeling those core muscles working. Inhaling to lift up, press down your feet, pressing down hands, and rounding on the exhale. Coming back to center. Let's take one hand behind the small of the back, with the back of our hand against the small of our back. We'll extend the other arm long. Breathing in to get tall. Exhale towards that extended with the neck going down towards that extended hand. Little side stretch of the cervical spine, which is up at the top. And releasing. And again, exhaling, taking that ear down to that shoulder of the long arm. And inhaling back up. We'll change sides. Other arm coming behind the hand. There, the elbows bent, reaching with the other hand. The feet are still pressed into the earth. We'll breathe in to get tall. Exhale, taking that ear down to the shoulder of the extended hand. Inhaling up. So noticing that cervical spine is getting a nice stretch on like a lateral stretch down towards the other shoulder. On the coronal plane of the body, I learned this past couple weekends. Coming back on up. Nice. Let's take the left foot, point our toe, and take the knee out and bring it in. Noticing that we're opening up the hip on the inhale, rotating it open. Exhaling, bringing it towards the midline, maybe crossing the midline a little bit, just to our area of comfort. Inhaling open, noticing how much range of motion we have, and just embracing that. Never judging, just noticing, okay, this is how far it goes tonight. Great, cool. Exhale. Let's do the other side. Let's point the other toe, bring it up. We'll inhale the knee out for that outward hip rotation. Exhale, bringing that knee towards the midline, maybe crossing a little bit. Just again, taking it to where it feels comfortable. Inhaling open. We're so differently built. We all have different length femurs. Our hips insert differently into the hip bone, the ilia, I believe it's called. Inhaling up, open. So it's just important to honor that and feel it and embrace it. And what works on my body might not work on yours, and the other way around. And we're different side to side as well. So just really embracing these individual bits that we have going on. It's just makes us so unique. It's so wonderful just to embrace our individuality in our bodies, our minds, our souls. Okay. Let's do the old gratification one where we stick out a thumb, say, yeah, right on. I'm going to inhale, exhale, turn that hand to the side, following it with the eyeballs, noticing its end point. Take your breath there. Our feet are still engaged on the floor. Now we'll breathe in, follow that thumb around to the center, open the hand, place the hands on the opposite ribs, opening up the other arm into a stretch on the other side. Breathing. Coming back, we'll stick out that initial thumb again. Breathing, exhaling it to follow it around. And once more, noticing. That just is a marvel to me every time I do it. I've got like a good 8 inches more. It's so cool. And coming back to center. Shaking out, we'll do the other side. We'll give a thumbs up on the other side. We'll breathe in to reach tall and long. Exhale, sweeping it across. Noticing the end point. Just noticing, not pushing, noticing. Bringing it back. Opening up those fingers to wrap around that rib cage on the other side. Palm open in the other arm to get a nice stretch. Breathing the whole while, breathing into that hand that's, on our ribs there. Now let's sweep that hand across. Find that thumb again. Follow it with our eyeballs and noticing that end point, how much it's moved. Getting a little more range there. Lovely. Let's come back. Let's grab our tea towels. Planting feet firmly on the floor so we feel really grounded, really connected, really stable. Reaching the tea towel in front of us and pulling the ends apart. Pressing feet down. Pulling the shoulders, dividing the shoulders down, lifting through the crown, and pulling the tea towel apart. Pressing feet, pressing feet. Notice the more we press the feet down, how the abdominals, the core muscles come in. Let's breathe that towel up. We'll exhale it down. Keeping just the right amount of resistance, and you'll know what feels good. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Really slow and controlled. Keeping the belly button tucked towards the spine, and we feel that by pressing those feet down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. And inhaling up. Exhaling down. Now let's take the towel just about shoulder height. We'll inhale. Go to one side, and we'll bend that front elbow so we're looking at that long arm and pulling that tea towel away. Pulling the tea towel ends away from each other. Pulling, pulling, pulling. Let's inhale to come to center. Bending the other arm this time. Coming to the side, pulling that towel. Coming back to center. Now let's keep both arms straight as we turn with the torso, our lower spine, just as far as feels good. And we're breathing. Tall through the spine. Coming back to center on the inhale and exhaling. Back to center. Let's take one arm forward, the other arm near our sternum. However it feels best to grab on that tea towel. Now we're going to push that front arm away. Breathing. Pull through the spine, pressing through the feet. Pulling, pulling, pulling. And then I'm going to rip this thing. And change sides. Other arm coming towards the chest, towards the heart. Pulling the other end of the towel away. Tall through the spine. Let's check on our facial muscles, that they're nice and loose here. They aren't grabbing anything. Nice. Now let's do that. One arm up, tea towel dangling between the shoulder blades, the scapula. We'll grab the bottom of the tea towel and we'll give ourselves a bit of a back scrub. Really tall. And now we'll take that arm that was on top across the body, looking over the shoulder, the extended arm. And let's release that. Other side. Towel up and hanging between the shoulder blades, grabbing the bottom end, giving ourselves a back rub. Do, 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 in the shower. Do, 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 do. Should sing the Rubber Ducky song. Couple more. And let's take that arm across the front. Looking over that shoulder. All right, let's shake that up. Grab a drink of water. And I want to get a really wide stance going here. So we're going to do a version of Malasana. Malasana, or goddess on the floor, looks like this. We're obviously not going to do that, but we're going to take a version of that in the chair. By being on the edge of the chair, prayering our hands, pressing them down against the inside of the knee, and just adjusting whatever feels good. Okay, we all have different lengths, appendages here, legs and arms, and maybe it would feel good to bring your feet up on a block. Is it comfortable for you to get down like this?
Yep.
Okay.
I've got my feet on block, so.
Oh, that's great. Perfect, perfect. So let's press our hands quite strongly against each other. We're getting our really along to the crowns of our heads, sinking our feet into the earth and breathing into our pelvic floor. So really feeling, and if the hands are too strong, you can also take them just to the legs. Whatever, I want to focus on the pelvic floor. So if this is distracting or too strong, if you want to just rest your elbows, that works too. I want to breathe really deeply into the pelvic floor. And as we're breathing, imagine the pelvic floor like a bowl that's supporting our organs. And it's not solid, it's tissue, it's flexible and supple and beautiful and lovely. And we want it to be both strong and firm, but we also want it to be soft. So we hear doctors telling us do Kegel exercises, and that's a kind of contraction for the pelvic floor, has a lot of value. Yet there's also a lot of value in breathing really deeply into that area, focusing on just softening it, loving it, letting it just get some gentle stretches with the breath. Nice, nice and low. So however low you need to be, whatever works. It's also nice to get really low, maybe hands even lower down by the blocks. Whatever lets you feel most beautifully, the breath down really low. Like breathing right down into our cervix, frankly, if I may be frank. When I was in college and had a fabulous voice teacher, and he used to talk about breathing so low that you leak. like really, really low. And thankfully that doesn't happen. That does for many. But the concept of breathing that deeply into our deep, deep pelvic floor is really valuable. As we're doing this, let's just check in with our facial muscles, because there's a direct connection between our pelvic floor and our jaw and our shoulders. So checking that our jaw is relaxed. No accident then that women giving birth, and I was one of them, we often will roar like a bear, because the action of just letting go with the jaw and the tongue and the lips helps open the cervix. So a real connection between our jaw, neck, shoulders, and our pelvic floor. Couple more breaths. Now let's come on up from that goddess. Note that bringing our heels in, if they aren't already, just a little bit in, so we can track the knees over the feet. Let's just do a little shoulder stretch. Bring one shoulder in towards the camera. Being the feet connected and rooting down and changing sides, other shoulder. Breathing deeply. Beautiful. Let's come up from that. Let's do some lifting of our heels with the breath. Inhaling, heel up. Exhaling it down. Pressing through the feet as we do so. Really enjoying the lift of the heel. Pressing down. As we do this, very simple exercise so far. We're going to engage the core by bringing that belly button, just pulling it towards the spine. Noticing our sits bones are nice and connected. We're up on our sits bones. Our shoulders are just dropping back. Our crown is lifted. We're tall through the spine. Our hearts are lifted, and we're pressing through the feet. So it's very small, but it's very mindful. The breath is moving the feet. And we're noticing the calf muscles are getting a nice warm up. Getting some traction in the spine because we're sitting so tall. We're breathing. Now let's open up our arms and turn the doorknobs. Add that motion of the arms. So getting a little bit of rotation of the shoulders. Exhale. Squeezing our shoulder blades together, lifting through the spine. Beautiful and tall. Let's do 3 more each side. Turning those giant doorknobs or cantaloupes or oranges, whatever you got going. I lost count. Let's say 2. And 1 more. Lovely. Shake it out. Let's windshield wiper our legs a little bit. Bring our knees into center. We still have our feet on the floor. And we're going to, oh, someone's trying to phone me. My sister's trying to phone me. I don't know why. Even though I put her on Do Not Disturb, I get these calls coming through. There. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Just got from the fact of the funeral of my aunt. Very small funeral, 1 family member per family. Okay, pressing the feet down. We're going to do the same thing, lifting both heels up at the same time. On the inhale, pressing both heels down. So we're not going quickly, we're going mindfully. Pressing down on the feet to lift the heel. Exhaling down. Inhaling. Exhaling. And we're going to add some arms. Let's stretch out the hands. We'll bring the hands up to a flex on the inhale. Bring them down. Exhale. Inhale up. Heels down. Inhale up. Those hands get so much work on the keyboard. Let's give them some love. Inhale up. Now let's keep them this way and we'll take them to the side. Like queen waves. Oh, like we're washing windows. Shoulders are back. Now let's fingers, squeeze them, make fists. Open the fingers, make a fist. Just try to bring in lots of movements for the hands here. Nice. While we're here, shake up the hands. If I haven't shown you this before, I'm going to show it to you now. Let's read a book with our hands. Now bring, I have to think about this a second. We're reading a book. Now we're folding the back of the hands onto each other. And now we're bringing those tips of the fingers forward. Backs of the hands are still together, and we'll swim it out. Keeping our shoulders down, we'll read a book again. Heel backs of the hands together, rotating them to reach forward. Swim it out. Read a book. Backs of hands together, spiraling forward to reach. Swim it out. And read a book. Backs of hands, reaching forward. Swim it out. Nice. Relax your abs. Mine, we're grabbing tightly. And we'll grab our block and we'll stick it below our knees so our calves are going to be pressing against the block. Now this alone, can I get out of here? Sorry, I'm trying to get this off my screen. Okay. Squeezing the block alone is very strong. So let's just play with that for a moment. We have our feet pressed into the earth. We're squeezing the block nice and tall. Let's squeeze our abdominals as well. Squeezing abdominals, squeezing block. Let's find our Tadasana hands. Opening up our heart. Pressing feet down. Let's also dial the feet out while we're squeezing the block. Now there's lots of activity going on, lots of activation. We're tall through the spine, feeding our mula bandha, our core muscles. We're breathing. Now let's breathe our hands up. We'll steeple the fingers at the top. Wrap the other fingers around each other. Pull the hands away from each other. So the pinky, index fingers are touching, the other hands are pulling. We're going to breathe in to reach up. Exhale, tip to one side, keeping the block squeezed. Inhaling up to reach and get tall. Exhale, second side. Squeezing the block, pressing the feet. Belly button to spine. Inhaling up to get tall and reach. Exhale to the side. And inhale up to get tall. And exhale. Let's let that go. Let's just do a couple more breaths of mindfully squeezing the block. And release the block. Release the squeeze. Now we're going to just turn the squeeze on and off a couple times. Let's turn it on, squeeze the block, shoulder blades back, tall through the crown, feeding the quad muscles, grip there. Let's release it. Do you feel it in your quads? Place your hands on your quads. You'll feel the muscles tightening as we squeeze the block. You'll feel that work being done in your quads. They're contracting. We're still breathing and release. And one more time, squeezing the block to activate our quad muscles. Feel that? And releasing. Okay, let's lose the block. Let's turn to side. We'll do our version of warrior. I love this. Finding that angle. I'm at like a 90-degree angle here. Whatever works for you. We'll open up our arms, looking over that middle finger. Beautiful reach, tall, powerful pose, pressing our feet into the earth, tall through the spine, feeling our breath, breathing into reach, exhaling to bend the front elbow, coming on over into side angle. Taking a breath here to look up and say good evening to your elbow. Noticing the stretch on the side of our bodies, which is so fabulous. Now we'll breathe in back through our warrior two. Exhale, exalted, letting that hand slide down the leg of the chair or rest on your hip, whatever feels safest, most accessible. And we're always feeling our feet on the floor. Let's breathe in back through warrior two. Exhale into our side angle. Pressing the feet on the floor to inhale to bring us up. Exhaling into our exalted warrior. Pressing feet down to bring us up. Pressing feet down activates our core muscles again. Over we go. Inhaling up, pressing feet. Exhaling, exalted warrior. Finding a warrior two again, we'll come right around with that bottom arm. Let it come down towards the floor. Doesn't matter how close it gets to the floor as we find our version of Trikonasana Triangle. Really feeling that beautiful stretch up through the side body, reaching straight up. Imagine there's someone behind you with their hand between your shoulders and you're leaning back into that hand. Leaning back into that hand, reaching back towards the back wall with the back of your hand. Letting that go, let's find a recovery pose, taking our arms onto our bent leg in the front and just dropping down into a humble warrior. Lovely. Let's come up out of that, unwind, heel and toe our foot across to the front. Maybe you want to windshield wiper the legs a little bit as we move to the other side. All right, engaging our feet, pressing them down, finding that engagement. Let's open up our arms nice and long, pressing feet down, inhaling to reach. Exhale, bending that front elbow, coming over into our side angle, pressing down the feet, saying good evening to the other elbow, relaxing the jaw, the cheeks, the tongue, the lips. Breathing back through warrior two. Exhaling into our exalted warrior, hands sliding down the leg of the chair. Maybe it's wrapping around your waist, pressing feet down. Inhaling warrior two. Exhale, side angle, pressing the feet. Inhaling warrior two. Exhale, exalted. Two more, inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. We'll do one more of these flows. And back on through our final exalted warrior. Coming back to warrior two, letting that front hand come all the way down, windmilling into our triangle pose. Pressing feet down. Again, imagining someone's behind you with their hand between your shoulder blades. Let's lean into the support of that hand. Feeling the back opening up even more as we lean back against that hand. Breathing. Opening up the back, the lower back, the lumbar spine. And we'll come around to a recovery pose. Elbows on that front knee, lowering the head down into humble warrior. Pressing through, keep yawning, pressing through the feet to come back up. Inviting that side foot to come forward. We can shake it out. And would you like to do a standing sequence tonight?
No.
Nope. Mother's seated? Yeah. Is that what I'm seeing? No standing? Okay, gotcha. You're a speck in the distance. I'm leaning forward to see your movement.
Sorry.
Drinking some water is a good idea. All right, when you're ready, planting our feet in front of us. We're going to breathe our hands up. Exhaling, diving down, taking our heart towards our knees, dropping over into a forward fold. Enjoying this for a couple breaths, feeling the breath in our back and our belly, into our pelvic floor. Now breathing in to lift our hearts, our backs. Kind of curve a little bit. Exhale, round the spine. Inhaling, sliding hands up to above the knees again. Pressing hands down to lift our hearts in a bit of a cobra. Pressing feet, pressing hands. Exhaling, inviting the feet, heels to slide forward, hands to slide forward, downward facing dog, sideways facing dog, feeling that stretch in the calf muscles, in the fingers, in the lower arm. The feet are really strongly flexed. We're pushing forward with the heels, pulling the toes towards us. And now we'll bend one knee and plant it just below that bent knee. The other foot will get on the earth as well. And we'll breathe our hands up. And let's exhale, hands to heart center, breathing feet both together. Inhaling to lift our hearts, lift our gaze. Exhaling, diving down into our forward fold, dropping our chest onto our knees and taking a breath, feeling our feet on the earth, breathing into our backs, into our belly. Next inhale, we'll lift up our hearts to arch the back a little bit, pressing feet down. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, inviting hands up to rest on the quadriceps. So lift our hearts, round the spine, or lift the heart, Exhale, now we'll slide those heels forward, rounding the spine the other way. Heels pressing forward, hands pressing forward, really pulling the toes towards us, heels away. That really nice calf stretch. Breathing. Now we'll bring the other foot back, this time to plant it below the bent knee. Put the other foot flat on the floor to inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart center, bringing feet together. Let's do one more each side. We'll inhale up. Exhale, down we go. Forward fold. Inhale, part way up to a flat back, lift our hearts. Exhale, rounding the spine to drop into forward fold. Our feet are still and always pressing into the earth. We'll inhale up, take our hands to our quads, lift our hearts, arch the back. Exhale, slide heels and hands forward, pulling our toes towards us. Inhale, one foot stepping back into a version of lunge. Exhaling, hands to heart center, feet together. One more time on that second side. Inhaling up with a smile. Exhaling, diving down. Forward fold. Inhale, coming partway up to a flat back. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, sliding hands up to our version of cobras. We lift our hearts, press our feet. Exhale, heels sliding forward, toes pulling towards our bodies. Big, beautiful reach. And other leg, finding our lunge. Inhaling up. Hands to heart center, feet together. Now let's take our right hand, open it up. We'll follow it with our gaze. Now we're going to slide it down. I place my other hand on my knee. Just do a version of thread the needle where we're sliding that hand palm upwards, lowering that right shoulder down to our lap, down to our leg, and breathing. Breathing that hand back through. Planting that hand on the thigh. So let's say right hand on the right thigh. We'll take the left hand to sweep across, follow with our gaze. Exhale, bring it back. We'll slide it underneath that little gateway we've created, that little portal. Palm upwards, left shoulder dropping down to that bent knee. Thread the needle. Coming back through that hand. Okay, taking one knee. Let's say your right knee. Bringing it up. Using a tea towel here. Yep, if that feels good. I'll grab mine too. I just love how the tea towel makes the arms longer.
Yeah.
Just makes it more accessible, right? So just using that towel, squeezing our shoulder blades together so we're not rounded. Our hearts are lifted, our shoulders are back. Using that towel just to bring the knee in and explore a little bit. Exploring that hip joint. Maybe to the center line, maybe to the outside, maybe a little closer, and just all those corners, finding some loveliness. Relaxing our jaw. And now let's take it to the outside, finding that outward rotation. I'm just going to use my hand. You can use a tea towel and or your hand, whatever feels best. The foot on the floor is always grounded. It's pressing down. We're tall through our spine, through our crown. And now let's invite that knee to come over, cross the midline a little bit if it goes that far, just seeing how far it goes. And if you've got the other arm free, you can always take it to the side. Just an option. And let's release that, shake it out. That same leg, let's take our hands under our thigh or the tea towel under the thigh if that makes it more accessible. And we're just going to support the leg with the tea towel or the hand as we extend the leg outward, drawing the toes towards our body. Tall through the spine. And let's see if we can lift it just a little bit higher. Use all the support from the tea towel or the hands you need. Feeling the warmth here. It does get warm. But let's point the toe, flex it. Breathe in, point, and flex. Point, and flex. Point, and flex. Drop it down, shake it out. Whatever you want to do to make it feel good. Get the blood moving. And now we'll do the other side. We'll take that towel, invite the knee to come up to a bend, and go on an exploratory journey. Getting into some corners, finding the edge. We never, 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 ever move into pain. It's okay to move into discomfort because that might be just kind of becoming uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, which is kind of a neat life lesson. But if it ever starts giving you signals, pain signals, please back away from that. Listen to your body. I think this is your sore side, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we'll take it to the outside. That outward rotation. I can't really see what side you're working on.
I'm doing
Doesn't matter.
left.
You're listening to your body. And then we'll take it towards the midline, just as far as it feels good. Feeling that internal rotation of the hip. Tall through the crown. Now coming back to center, we'll take the towel underneath the leg or the hands under the leg. So we extend that leg outwards, pulling the toes towards our heart. Lifting that foot up by, how do we get it up? By pressing the other foot down. It's always that way. We rise up by rooting down. The more we press down, root down, the more lift we get. Let's point that toe and flex. Point and flex and point and flex and point and flex. And let's release that. Shake it out. Let's find our goddess legs one more time. We have a wide stance and our heels are turned in a little bit. And we'll take some goddess cactus arms. And this time we'll lift both heels together with our hands, breathing in as we reach up. Exhale down. Maybe coming down if you want to move with the fingers, middle finger to thumb. That's an option. We can inhale with stretchy starfish hands. Exhale, move your fingers down. Squeezing shoulder blades. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling up with the heels. Exhaling down. Let's shake it out. Now let's bring the feet to face forward, exactly forward. Let's put our hands on our hips. Nice wide stance, toes facing forward. Now hinging with the hips, leading with the heart. So we're coming forward from the hips, our hearts are leading us down. Backs are flat. And when you're ready, we can round the spine, bring hands down into a wide-legged forward fold. Breathing again into our back, our belly, our pelvic floor. Hands can come to blocks, of course, if that's easier. Knees could even come to the elbows. Now we'll take a hand over to the opposite calf or ankle, whatever's available. Just placing that hand on the opposite leg and the other arm to the hip as we find a twist. Pressing feet into the floor. Breathing into our backs, our sides, our bellies. And changing sides. The other arm will slide over below the knee onto the shin or the calf muscle or down to the ankle, whatever is available. Taking the hand to the hip. In the twist. Pressing feet down. And let's come back to center. Find our forward fold one more time. Now, pressing feet down, down, down as you roll up through the spine. Rolling up, stacking your vertebrae one by one. Slow and beautiful. Coming up to a seated position. Let's bring our feet together, heel and toe them together. And I'd like to just do a little more neck work. So let's comfy in our chairs. Let's breathe in. Exhale, looking over to one side. Exhaling to center. Inhaling a minute. Exhaling to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Then inhale to center. And exhale. Back to center. Let's inhale, lift our smile as our gaze. Exhale, dropping the chin. Really gently here. Lots of love. Inhaling up. And down. And up. And down. Now we'll lift our shoulders up as we inhale them. Inhale. Exhale, dropping them in your back pockets. Down they go. Inhale up. Exhale down. Two more beautiful rolls in the shoulder. And down. And one more time. Now, it might feel good, it might not, going the other way, bringing them up and dropping into the front. So changing the direction of the rolling. Just noticing if one's way feels better than the other. And releasing. If you have your ball handy, do you have your ball handy?
I do.
Is it within reach? Grab that guy. And let's start with, yeah, exactly. Let's get up under our collarbone on one side, into that shoulder girdle, under that deltoid muscle, just in those lovely areas, looking for some fun spots. Let's go to the center, find our sternum, just right over our thymus gland, stimulating our immune system by massaging it. Let's go over the other side, change hands, get under that collarbone, that scapula. Not scapula, collarbone is your anatomy, freeze. Into the shoulder girdle. Into those spots. Ooh, I got some good stuff there. Holy moly. Up onto the deltoid maybe. That big muscle in the cap of the shoulder. And let's come up one side of the neck. And whatever side you want to start with. Making your way up towards that jaw joint. That TMJ joint where it joins at the bottom of the ear there. Just lots of loving, gentle pressure. If it feels good to do the other side with your hand at the same time, whatever feels good. All along our jaw. Now let's actually hold that ball on that TMJ point on the one side where the ball is. Take that bone of the heel of our hand on the same spot on the other side. So we're pressing those 2 points. We'll inhale as we open our mouth. Exhale, closed. Letting the tongue rest on the bottom of the mouth. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to close. Inhaling. A massage therapist does this, it's excruciating when she does it. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to close. Now let's continue with that jaw up to the temple area perhaps. On top of, behind the ear, just exploring. See if it feels good. Come down to our third eye between our brows. Send some love there. Our center of seeing, of wisdom. And then we'll start to work down the other side. Finding the temple. Finding the top of the ear. Eventually making the way to that TMJ joint on that side. Let's go along that jawbone, that mandible. Finding how much tension can be in the muscles traveling along the front of the jaw. It's remarkable what we discover. Traveling back to that TMJ point with the ball, let's find using the other hand perhaps on the other side to add some pressure. It will open the jaw as we breathe in, tongue resting on the floor of the mouth. Exhaling to close mouth. The tall through the crown. And again. Okay. Yes, I'm still teaching. Yes, I'm done in about 5 minutes. Okay, let's place the ball down. Find a nice comfy position. If you need your socks on or a blanket or a pillow, we'll take transition into our Shavasana, our seated Shavasana. Finding the breath. Open your heart to the people you love. Open your heart to the world. Open your heart to God, to the universe, to life, and all the creatures and creations in it. Open your heart as much as you can. It's safe to open your heart now. There was a time when you believed that the only way to protect yourself was to shut down and close your heart. You have learned so much. You have learned the powers of honesty, compassion, forgiveness, and kindness. You will no longer become stuck or trapped if you open your heart. You can leave if you want to. You can say what you need to. You no longer need to protect yourself by guarding your heart with the heavy armor you wore in the past. Now you are free. Free to open your heart. Free to open yourself to the universe. Picture your heart. In front of your heart, see a beautiful rosebud, tightly closed. Whenever you want your heart to open, picture the rose blooming wide, beautiful, alive and fragrant. Whenever you want to retreat, turn the rose back into a bud. Open your heart to the world, to the people who live in it. Open yourself to creation. Open your heart to yourself, to God, to life. Life will become magical, and you'll think back and smile. You will wonder why it took you so long to open your heart. Open your heart as much as you choose, as much as you can. Share it with the world. Feeling the breath. Taking any little micro movements that feel intuitive and lovely. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe moving the head, the jaw, lips. Maybe wiggling around a little as we come back to the breath. Come back to the chair, to our bodies, to the room. Finding our intention. Bringing it out. Opening up in front of us. Placing it into our open heart. Knowing that it's safe. It's our creation. Your creation. Would you like to end tonight's session with one of our mudras, one of our mantras? Or would you like to?
I'm finished right now.
Sorry, I can't hear you very well.
I think that was lovely, that reading.
I'm sorry, it's really quiet like it was before. One more time, I'm going to get really close.
That reading was lovely.
Yes, I liked it too. I just opened my book to it.
It really felt like a good fitting close, you know?
This is the book. Did I ever show you the book?
Oh, it's Melody Beatty. Oh, Journey to the Heart. Oh, no wonder it's so beautiful. It's a lovely.
And that was the reading from August 21st. Huh. I was searching for something that spoke to me tonight.
It's perfect.
So.
Well, listen, madam, thank you. And I hope you have a lovely summer. And then we'll see what's going on in the fall.
Fabulous. And reach out to me anytime if you want to do anything. And I will send you those two things I wrote, because I think you'll find them both very interesting.
Okay, beautiful.
It's information we all want to have. It's good news.
Take good care of your precious self, and we'll be in touch. And thank you again for everything. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's been such an honor, such a pleasure to get to know you. I always felt a connection to you. The one thing I've only met twice, but it's so nice to have met again so many times.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
All right. So I will see you in September.
In September. Okay. Right. Have a lovely summer. Kisses.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. God bless.